Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with my special guest today. And your name is Uma. Is that correct how I'm pronouncing that?
Uma.
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 So, you have a new book out called I Am a Rockstar. How did you come up with that?
You mean the name?
The name, the book, and everything.
Yeah, first of all, hello. My name is Uma. So the reason for writing this book is, again, I believe that everybody has a writer inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, I collected all my life, the lessons I learned in my life and converted it into this book. And the name really signifies self-belief. Okay, so I'm a rock star really means self-belief because in order to accomplish anything in life, the first step is to believing in ourselves. And that is what the title signifies.
Of course, we have to believe in ourselves first. We have to stop listening to other people and believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, how is other people going to believe in you?
Correct.
Yeah, I have a little bit of experience in this. So, I mean, it's all life experiences. But what led you into, you said your life experiences helped you into this. What led you to actually write the book to help people?
Yeah, so as I said, I always wanted to write a book, but a couple of years ago, I took a break from the corporate world, mm-hmm. and I tried to pursue something on my own. And that period actually, taught a lot of lessons, basically the amount of hard work I had to put in just to close a $300 deal when I'm used to, sitting or presenting in air conditioning rooms and closing $30 million deals.
Right.
So the hard work and, the persistence I had to have, that taught me a lot of lessons. And that was the final push for me to really write the book, although I always wanted to write it.
Well, we all have a writer inside of us somewhere. It's just a matter of sitting down to actually get the words on paper.
Correct.
And the first step is always to actually write words on the paper.
Correct. Exactly.
So you went from doing like multi-million-dollar deals, then you went down to the $8 million deals, the smaller ones. What kind of transition was that?
Well, no, I mean, during my startup days, they were not even $8 million deals. I mean, they were $300 deals, to begin with. And obviously we went up, but it's a completely different experience, right? I normally in the corporate world, I work for large organizations, where the infrastructure is already established. But then when doing something on your own, you have to build from scratch, right? So yeah, you start small and slowly you grow. So the experience was fascinating. Every day you wake up to, not knowing what's going to come, next, right? Every day you wake up to whether you will have funds left tomorrow. And whether, you will have new customers or not. So that was actually a fascinating experience that taught me a lot of lessons. It was tough at the time, but in hindsight, that was the greatest time of my life.
Exactly. I'm going from an LLC right now into a C Corp.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up every day. Okay, what's my schedule like for tomorrow? Well, I wake up and my schedule has gone out the window.
Right. Exactly.
You try to plan for the next day before you go to bed. As an entrepreneur, your day starts in the morning when you get out of bed, and no matter what you plan for, it's not going to be what you expect.
Correct.
That's just business and life, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is absolutely fun.
Know day to day what's going to happen. And anyone that needs to schedule is going to drive them up at the wall. But at the same time, you have to embrace it.
Correct. Yes. Being flexible, having the, what you call it, persistence, because you fall multiple times, but you should have the strength to get up, learn from your falls and move forward. And if you do that, most likely you will succeed. But persistence and strength is very important.
Oh, yeah, everyone thinks, oh, you're an entrepreneur or you're an author or you own a business, so you have multiple millions of dollars laying around. no, that's not reality. I mean,
Correct.
yeah, in 10 years, maybe, but
Right.
that's not the reality of day-to-day living.
Correct.
You have to start
Uh,
small.
Right, right. And also, I mean, I can share all my experiences. I mean, I can go on and on. For example, in the startup world, you have a concept that is not proven.
Mm-hmm.
If you work for a large organization, it's very easy to motivate people and demonstrate leadership. But when you have a concept that is not proven, convincing people, motivating them and bringing them along with you and collectively marching towards success is extremely difficult. That is where the true leadership comes out, for example. So that is something that is one of the concepts I emphasized in my book, the concept of leadership. And how you actually sell the concept to potential customers, because it's a brand new concept. So that is where the selling skills come into picture. That is where your true negotiation, negotiating skills come into picture, right? And then how do you actually convince others? That is where your communication skills and your presentation skills come into picture. And then you have to develop a brand for something that, a product that does not exist. So how do you develop that brand? So the branding skills. So all these lessons learned, obviously, whatever I learned during my life, I applied during this time. And, all the, again, I mean, my thoughts evolved during this time, or at least they solidified or evolved. And that is what went into the book.
Right. I mean, we go from, okay, every entrepreneur works for someone at some point in their life. That's where they get their idea from. Either
Correct.
if it's working at McDonald's or working in a multi-million-dollar corporation. We all start somewhere at some job and have an idea. Then we have to learn the skills to make that idea into a plan. Once you have your plan, then you have to sell your plan to other people to get to invest to get your startup going.
Correct. Exactly. And selling something that is known to people is easy, right? You you take a popular product and you can easily sell it to people. But selling something, basically creating that interest, or actually making the other person realizing, the need for a product that they do not know, or a service that they do not know, that is where the true negotiation or true selling comes into picture.
Sorry, my dog barks.
All right.
But no, it's, if you have a snow cone, anyone in the world can sell a snow cone. But when you invent something, either a new clothing brand, a new jewelry brand, a new film company, you have to use your wits to present this. And each presentation is going to be different depending on who you're marketing to.
Correct.
So, I mean, even going to an investor for $300 or $150,000, your presentation of how you're presenting your company to get that earmark is going to be different.
Yeah. And, selling is all about creating momentum. And, I talk about all of this in my book. So how do you create that momentum so you can actually close the deal? So that creating the momentum has, a bit of a science associated to it. So I talk about all the, the science. Obviously selling is not just science, but there is a lot of science associated to it.
Yeah.
So I talk about both the art and science of selling, in my book.
Right. There's a formula that people don't understand. It's not just, oh, I'm going to write this business plan down and go take it to this investor and they're going to give me oodles of money. No, it doesn't work that way. One, you have to have the business plan wrote down for that investor. Every investor is looking for something different. So you have to understand their formula. And then you have to tailor your presentation to that investor, not just a cookie cutter type of thing.
Right.
Sorry, I work from home, so I have my dog with me, and
of course,
there's days she's perfectly quiet, and there's days she just wants mom's attention.
Yeah, she wants to come in the interview.
Yes.
She wants attention, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, she is my cheerleader when I'm talking to investors or anyone else.
Right.
So we have this one book out. Are you thinking about writing more?
I am working on a children's version of this book. Obviously, I mean, I call it children's version, but it's a completely different book
Mhm.
that is in works, and that will be released in a month or so. It's called I'm a Little Rock Star. In fact, I have 7-year-old twins. They are helping me, they are co-authoring the book with me, and they're actually illustrating the book for me. So yeah, it's
Awesome.
exciting work we are doing right now.
That is wonderful that you have your children so involved in your work.
Correct, on this one, yes.
I mean, okay, so we have the children's book coming out, and we're teaching the kids basically the same thing you're teaching adults, but in a children's form. And then you have kids helping you illustrate and making sure you're hitting that earmark.
Correct, correct. Yeah, so the children's book, again, it's about self-belief.
Mhm,
It's about, being oneself.
mhm.
Don't compare with others, and believe in yourself. And also it teaches them, leadership skills, obviously at a much smaller scale. And that book is, for any kid that can read. I'm actually very excited about this book because the way we are writing it is very refreshing.
Mhm.
We are using a lot of fiction because kids usually like some form of fiction.
Mhm.
So that book teaches you how to be a rock star using some interesting stories. So it's interesting. I like
I
it.
love I love that because if you can start teaching kids early enough, then they know the skills when they get to be adults instead of trying to teach an adult something they should have learned as a child.
Correct.
We don't,
I mean, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
we don't have that in, I don't know where you're from exactly, but right here in my hometown, we don't have that in the schools right now. We don't have teaching kids to succeed in life. We have, okay, this is math, this is science, but it's not teaching life skills.
Correct. Yeah, I live in California, by the way. So yeah, I mean, here it's pretty much pretty similar. And I'll give you an example. Basically, all of us are born to be rock stars, and you know why? Because the first day, if you look, go back and look at the very first day of all of our journey,
Hmm.
right? We kind of travel from one world into a completely different world, meeting new people, and meeting an entirely new world. And if you just go back and look at the day, the strength that all of us actually demonstrated on day one of our life, that tells us that we are all rock stars. And the struggle, every baby, basically all of us, right? Every person had to go through to, roll over, then to sit, then to stand, then to walk and to run, and all the, every time the baby or, the infant falls while doing so, but then you just learn from the falls and you keep moving forward, right? I mean, if we gave up at that time, we wouldn't even be able to walk. So I think just taking this story, we can all tell ourselves that we are all rock stars. I mean, we have accomplished a lot very early in our life,
Exactly.
in that context. So if you just take that and apply it to our day-to-day lives right now, every time, most of us actually fear of failure,
Hmm.
right? So, and in my book, I talk about this. I personally believe that there is nothing called as failure. I think we should all collectively work towards replacing the word failure to maybe failure, FALLURE. That's the new word I'm inventing. But what this means is we don't fail. I mean, we fall in our lives,
Hmm.
and all we need to do is learn from our fall, get up, and move forward.
Right.
And I think all of us are rock stars. And if we define our success correctly, we will succeed. There is no doubt about it. But again, the point is, it all starts with defining our success accurately, because we often change, wrong things in life. So as long as you define your success correctly,
Hmm.
and you can succeed, and we can talk about all the steps that we need to go through, but we are all successful people in this world, period.
We are. And the thing is, each person's success is built on that person. It's not, you cannot say I'm successful if I'm comparing myself to Jack and Jill next door.
Correct.
You cannot compare your success to your neighbors or to your parents or to anyone's. It's your success.
Correct. I mean, I'm a big failure in life, if you look at it. If I compare myself to, let's say the President of United States.
Right.
But I'm successful based upon how I define my success, right? So
Right.
again, if you look at success, it's a three-step process. Step one is to accurately define or locate success, right? So that's a very, very important step. I think most of us, don't execute that step properly.
Right.
And yeah.
We don't. We go, okay, we let our parents tell us what is success in their eyes. Well, their version may not be what we see.
Exactly. I mean, it applies to young adults more than anybody else, right? You're absolutely right. I mean, your parents want you to be an engineer or a doctor or an artist. So whatever your parents define your success is, that is not success, right? I mean, basically, it's all about taking charge of our life and we driving our life rather than either life driving you or somebody else driving your life, right?
Exactly. And so many people don't understand that. You cannot tell other people if they are successful or a failure based on what you perceive.
But
It's
correct.
their life. It's not your life. You have to
Exactly.
define your own life and let them define their life.
Correct.
So, I mean, there's so many things that we need to teach people and minding your own business and being successful in here will give you successful everywhere else.
Correct. And once you start taking control of your life, then what happens? People will start criticizing. That happens regardless, right? I mean, either people try to define your success, or if they see you take charge of your life, they will start criticizing you. And that is a concept, I talked about in my life. Basically, we have to start celebrating criticism because people criticize you, or, most of the times people criticize you when you are doing something right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I'm talking about, the negative criticism here, right? I mean, obviously there is constructive criticism people provide. We should not ignore that. But constructive criticism comes to you in a constructive way as well. So the criticism that often bothers people, the destructive criticism comes only when you're doing something right. I think that's it, the rule of thumb we can use for the most part. It's true, right?
Correct. I
Yeah,
mean,
so ignore people, you take charge of your life. If you think you're doing the right thing, keep doing what you believe is right because you are a rock star.
correct. You cannot let your family members tell you, for example, if you're an author, if you're a published author, you cannot tell them you're not a successful author because you're only doing it online.
Correct.
You are building your brand. You have to build it, and it comes slowly. They're not
Correct. Absolutely.
understanding this. They are just there to tear you down. It's not criticism that you need to listen to.
Correct. Absolutely. So if we may actually, just continue the success conversation, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
So, I mean, we talked about the first step, of success, but then the second step, first step is obviously to locating success, right? The next step is to get there. So you have to actually, travel the distance to success. But for that, what we need is a means of transportation, right? Like, let's say a car. So the car is something we all have with us. That is the core skill we possess, whether it's a, art skill or, a selling skill or math skill. So whatever skill it may be, the core skill we have is the car. But the car needs fuel. So that fuel comes in the form of a right mindset and a positive personality. So we gotta, develop a positive attitude to reach success. Because a lot of people, I see a lot of people either, let's say they are able to define their success accurately, right? But then they're either scared to do what they want to do, or they are lazy. I mean, oh, I will do it tomorrow, right? So, basically we have to, boost ourselves up, and we have to buckle up and get ready to go. So that comes in the form of, beating the failure, overcoming the fears, and, motivating ourselves and having that positive mindset to travel the distance. So that is step number 2. Once we are buckled up and ready to go, and I see some people, they want to accomplish a lot in their life, but then in order to reach the destination, we need all the tools. So we need to know how to get there, right? So we need a good GPS that takes us to success. So, I mean, again, there may be multiple routes. We need an optimal route. So we need a good GPS to travel the distance to success. That GPS is nothing but all the tools we need to, to actually succeed in life. They are leadership skills, communication skills, presentation skills, branding skills, negotiation skills. These are all the skills we need to accomplish anything in life. I mean, whether your goal is, just to, let's say, convince your kids to eat that particular cereal or fruits in the morning, that could be your goal for the day. That, you might be defining your short-term success as, making your kids eat vegetables. Or it could be, being successful in life, closing, basically developing a multi-billion-dollar business. Anything you want to accomplish in life, you need these 3 steps. Basically, this comes back to our, why I Am a Rockstar. The book is different from a lot of self-help books out there. It is different because I talk about all 3 steps.
And that's what we need, is be able to have a roadmap for our
Correct.
GPS system,
Correct. Exactly.
And that's what I Am Rockstar is your roadmap for your GPS. If you look at any GPS system out there, they have roadmaps, right? So
Correct.
you need the tools, but you also need to be able to have something tangible to look at.
Correct.
So where can our listeners and our viewers find you?
The best place to find me is my website, umavanka.com. It's UMAV like Victor, AN like Nancy, K like Kilo, A like Alpha.com, umavanka.com.
Awesome. And it's going to be at the bottom of your screen, so you can look at it and find it right there. And also on our comments section, if I can talk today, 3 strokes. I have days I can't talk. But no, it's going to be in the comments section. So just click on it and take you right there. I Am Rockstar is there. And if I looked at the website correctly, you have it. You just click on the correct flag for your country.
Correct. Exactly.
It'll take you right there. So it's right there on Amazon. You click the flag, it goes right to America's Amazon. Or any other country. I'm just clicking America because that's where I'm at. But it was so nice talking to you.
Same here.
Darby says the same thing. But as soon as the children's book comes out, please come back on. I'd love to know more about the children's book, because really we need to start teaching our kids these 6 skills quickly and at a young age. It doesn't start at graduation. We need to start at kindergarten.
Correct. Exactly.
So thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.